Well, here we are at the forge again. Already been working a little bit, did a little grinding on the blade I worked on yesterday. I got a few other little projects to finish up. But today I have two little pieces of scraps, and we're just going to see what kind of blades we can get out of them. My wife's always telling me that small knives sell really well at the local shows. So, since she likes small knives and the people at the shows seem to like small knives, let's make a couple of small knives. No plan, no figuring. Let's just see what happens. I've got a little piece of 1/8 inch thick 1095 and a little piece of 3/16 inch thick 1084, both good high carbon steels. Let's get them hot and smack them a few times with a hammer. Oh, and other people have a forge dog or a forge cat. I've got a forge rooster. This is Chico. He thinks he's a dog. And there's our little pieces of scrap. They're probably about, not quite 4 inches long, maybe 1.25 inches wide. Start out with the 1/8 inch stock, drawing down a point. I will go ahead and say that I would rather forge 2 big knives than 1 small knife. When you're working with stock this size, it's a pain in the neck. But if it's what the customer likes, then that's what the customer will get. So we've got our point started. Now we're going to start working on the handle. Set it down to isolate the handle from the blade. Try to keep everything flat, straight, and even. There we go. Still working on isolating that handle. Length is pretty good. Just trying to keep it flat. Knock a little curve into the back of the handle. That's not bad. There we go. Planish it out. Flatten it out good. Very good. Flip it around and get to work on that blade. Make sure that profile's right before I start on the bevels. Now, start drawing the bevel down. And you can see how much just that little bit has already started the curve in the edge. Now when I'm hammering those bevels in, I'm not holding the stock flat on the anvil. I'm actually holding it up, canted on a little angle. And that one's pretty much done. So this is the thicker stock. This is 3/16 thick 1084. But it's really not any harder to move than the 1/8 inch. Same thing, working the point out first. and get ready to isolate the handle. Or not. Yep, there we go. Now I know that looks like a very short blade, and I do want a short blade, but you'll see when I draw the blade out that it'll actually get much longer. Knock a little curve, a little contour in that handle. Drop forged. There we go. And drop forged again. Yeah, that's going to be a good knife. Double drop forged. Now we'll start working the bevels out, and you'll see how much that blade actually stretches. Now I actually made a mistake right there. I should be forging that blade out just a little bit farther, but I didn't catch it, and it ended up a little thicker than it needed to be at the heel of the blade. So I'll have to do a little more grinding than I planned. So we're back in the house now. Got both the blades finished up, hardened. They've been through one temper cycle. Here's the first one. So that's going to be just a really nice size for somebody to have on their side when they want a small knife, something unobtrusive. These size actually do pretty well. And the other one is just a little thicker, a little heavier steel. Roughly the same size, just a hair longer. Handle's just a hair longer. It's got a little recess right here that the thumb fits in nicely. The mistake that I mentioned there in the last part of the video was right here. This part was much thicker than it should have been. I actually should have stretched this blade out a little bit longer. My mistake. You live and learn. That's okay though. Whipped it up on the grinder. Once it's cleaned up, that's going to be another nice little blade. So, as I said before, I would much rather forge a large blade than these tiny things. I'll show you. This is the one from yesterday, from my last video. Left the hammer marks in. I didn't even try to smooth them out. A lot of people like to see that rough finish, so I left it there. This blade has been brought down now to a high polish along the edge, and it will absolutely shave hair. But this was much easier to forge, than this. This may have been a little quicker, but this was much less technical to get it right. So, just because a blade is small doesn't mean the blade should be cheap. Just because the blade is small doesn't mean that it's easy to make. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video once again. I hope somebody out there is learning something, taking something from our videos that they can use in their own forge, or maybe just learning more about the craft because they're curious and interested. Hope you enjoyed. Be sure and subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. Leave us a comment in the comment section. We'd love to hear from you. And by the way, don't forget to hit the bell so you can get notifications of future content. Have a blessed evening.